What's up, guys? It's Lord Both here for another video, and Atomfall is a roaring success. This comes to us from Insider Gaming, entitled Atomfall is Rebellion's most successful launch ever. Rebellion is celebrating the successful launch of Atomfall, a pseudo-apocalyptic survival game set in rural England in the 1950s. It's a history-bending title with plenty of mysterious meat on some of the well-built bones, and that's partly why 1 million players found their way into the game over the launch weekend. They're actually saying that it's now like 1.5 million that actually tuned into this game. In a statement, the team revealed that Atomfall is Rebellion's most successful launch ever, and the company has been making games for more than 30 years. In a recent press release, Jason Kingsley, CBE, which is the highest honor you can get, by the way, without actually being a member of nobility in the United Kingdom, which Jason Kingsley got for his achievements in business through Rebellion. And by the way, this guy started his own history YouTube channel with his brother, and he just seems like the kind of guy that loves video games, loves history, loves just nerd culture stuff, and wants to make a living off of doing that and giving people the best experience possible with what he can do. If anybody should deserve to be successful in gaming, it should be guys like this and people that run like Saber, the people over at Larian, the people who actually want to put time and effort and care into the things they craft and actually care about what the customer wants and thinks about their product. Anyway, Kingsley stated, "We are delighted that so many players are enjoying Atomfall. To have surpassed the 1 million players in such a short space of time speaks volumes for the creativity and dedication of the entire team here at Rebellion. Our size and stability mean that we can take risks to create something as different as Atomfall. Happily, that risk is paying off." We'll get into what he's talking about there with risk and stability in just a few minutes. "We are a British company, and the game is a true reflection of that. Not only is it set in the lush, beautiful countryside, but Atomfall also draws inspiration from so many classic British books, films, and TV series. We hope that players continue to enjoy exploring the world of Atomfall and are looking forward to future content for the game." Which is more than a little way of hinting that we're going to get DLCs and expansions for this game. Now, I will say that what they mention here as a moniker of success, right, is player count. So, we got to do the same thing we did for things like Assassin's Creed. And I don't like this trend now that I'm seeing of gaming companies, whether it's ones that I think deserve to be successful and put out a good product, like these guys here at Rebellion, or it's companies that I think bungle everything they touch and deserve to fall flat on their face, like Ubisoft. Either way, I don't like the trend that everybody is taking and using player counts to try to say that their game is successful. Because just like we talked about with Assassin's Creed Shadows, player counts do not equal sales. And we gotta apply that same logic to this game as well. Just because they say, and by the way, it's them saying it, so it's a bit of a trust our statistics, bro, but they're saying they pass 1.5 million players, and they're trying to pass that player engagement, that player count, as sales, because they haven't released any sales data on this yet. And it's important to note, this game came out on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, it's free to play right now. So how many people playing the game are actually playing for free? My guess is a decent amount, because this game, when you play it, definitely feels like a console game. It doesn't quite feel like a PC game. And for anybody who's out there saying, "Oh, this game, it's like Fallout," I would recommend you go play this game, because it doesn't feel like Fallout at all. You can look at it on the surface level and be like, "Oh, there's an atomic disaster. It's in Britain, and they made a Fallout London mod, right? Which came out right before this." So I think people kind of make those two comparisons. But the truth is, this thing doesn't really have a lot of Fallout in it. The truth is, this game is It's a more like Stalker 2 meets Far Cry meets Bioshock. If I had to pick 3 games that this game is like in terms of its mechanics and actual aesthetic and feel, those are the 3 that I would pick. I mean, hell, I would pick a game that I don't like really at all, Avowed, and I would say that this is more comparable to Avowed than I'd say something like Fallout or any Bethesda game. So do those 1.5 million players, as it says here in the title of this PC Gamer article, Atomfall surpasses 1.5 million players to become Rebellion's most successful game launch in 32 years. Do those players really equate sales in total? Probably not, but there is some kind of financial theory here that might justify that the game is still doing well. Rebellion's size and stability, that's the same comments from the other article that we were reading, echoes comments Kingsley made in a March interview with PC Gamer, in which he attributed the studio's avoidance of layoffs amidst the ongoing chaos of the game industry to maintaining controls of its game's scale and costs. Kingsley said, quote, "I prefer a small, really good game than a really big kind of game that isn't focused down on what's important for the player. We're just very professional with controlling scope and cost. Sometimes we say, guys, this game's too big." What a revolutionary idea. The thought of maybe we don't have to hire a crap ton of people and then lay them off later, messing up the entire system and flow and making our shareholders super nervous and destroying the stability of the company just so we can quickly turn over and churn out gigantic slot games with a bunch of filler content and, to be quite honest, empty space in them. And instead we could, have a smaller company that makes smaller, more focused games that give you a concise story that's written well, the characters are fleshed out, and have more impact in tens of hours of gameplay rather than hundreds of hours of gameplay. Yeah, maybe, just maybe, that might be good for the overall health of the industry. Maybe if some companies follow that model, they wouldn't have to be creating new companies to hide their most important IPs in while they go through the process of selling everything else off and shutting down after engaging in a buyout with their Chinese backers. So yeah, even though their player engagement doesn't quite equal sales, this game still could be a pretty solid success just based on the fact that they're really good at controlling costs and they know what they're doing in terms of giving players what they want. And quite honestly, they've probably won over a lot of fans. So when they release their next game, or they get more interest from other people wanting to have games of IPs made, the same way Saber is getting a ton of business right now from other companies like Hasbro and such wanting them to make games of IPs. When that potentially happens for these guys, they're probably going to get a pretty good influx of cash as well. Just because a game doesn't do massive sales doesn't mean that it also A, still didn't make a profit, and B, didn't get you the attention of people that you really want the attention of. And even C, win you the loyalty of a lot of gamers. And honestly, I think this game and this company has done all 3. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you watching all of it. We'll talk to you again later.